My wife and I went for a walk this weekend. We found a new park that we had never walked in before and took us on a really cool wooden pathway that wound its way through the woods with multiple paths. And we weren't in a hurry. We took our time and explored a little bit. And of course, we're walking through this path and through the woods at a time of year when the leaves that fell in fall haven't come back yet on the trees. And so you were able to see pretty deep into the woods. And at one point, when we were walking on this path, we looked pretty deep into the woods and we saw a treehouse, pretty large treehouse. Something that was, well, looked to be pretty private. If all the leaves were up, you would have no idea that it's there, but because the leaves were down, we saw it, and we commented that it's probably put there to give somebody a nice quiet place where they could retreat and just get away from everything. Maybe you have a place like that too. Maybe it's your garage. Maybe it's your basement. Maybe you have a cabin in some other place in the state or in the country or in the world. Quiet place where you like to go and just get away. And those are important places, so important that God even designed one for the Israelites. In Deuteronomy chapter 12, we kind of start a new section in the book of Deuteronomy where we're getting into a lot of the worship regulations. And as the Israelites were getting into the Promised Land, God wanted to give them a special place, a quiet place, not where they could be by themselves, but a place where they knew they were going to be with God, a place where they could be in the presence of God. And he describes it in a really cool way where he says this. In Deuteronomy 12, he says, there in the presence of the Lord your God, in this special place that he hadn't yet identified for them, but there in the presence of the Lord your God, you and your families shall eat and shall rejoice in everything you have put your hand to, because the Lord your God has blessed you. In other words, there in that special place, in the presence of God, they would be provided with everything that their bodies would need. They would be able to eat. They would be able to enjoy the satisfaction of knowing that their work was never worthless, that it was never in vain, that it was always worth it because the Lord their God had blessed them, and because God was blessing them and blessing everything that their hands had done. They would rejoice in all of it. Like all their work would give them reasons to smile because God would see to it that would always be the case. And that sounds like a really special place, a place where you would always have everything you need, where God is always blessing your work, and where you would always have reasons to rejoice, no matter what your work looked like. But we actually get to one-up the Israelites in a way. Because that special place where God is with you, where God promises to supply everything that your body needs, where he promises to bless the work of your hands, whatever that work is, that special place for you is wherever you happen to be at this very moment. That's the promise that Jesus made on the day that he ascended back into heaven when he said to his disciples, and surely I am with you always to the very end. Wherever you are is wherever God happens to be, and wherever you are is exactly where God is happy to be. And you know how serious he is about keeping that promise. Because you look at the day when he did the most significant work of his hands, at least when it came to your life and my life. The day when there were nails in his hands. The day when he purchased for himself the right to walk with you through life. The day that he promised that he would do whatever it takes to bless your life and to supply whatever it is that is needed so that you could always rejoice, so that your life could always be covered with the most perfect grace. Grace. Your life is always in a place of grace because your life, wherever you are, is a place where God himself already is. And because that's always true, you can rest well tonight, my friends.